Alrighty, so today on NewbieVeT, we have Chanel Cartier. Hi, Chanel.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm great.
All right, so you're here as a representation of the queer Black community in Augusta.
Ooh.
How do you feel? Like, it's a big title, girl.
Ooh. Well, I feel like Babs, Black African Princess.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So what is your identity? What would you consider yourself? Are you drag performer, drag artist? What's your label when it comes to performing?
I honestly see myself as an artist, just full artist.
Nice.
Because I do sculptures, I paint, I draw with most mediums. I love creating anything visual. I dance. I create wigs, makeup. I design from time to time.
Nice. So you're just all around a creative.
Anything that I can bring into reality from imagination.
So what got you started in drag? Because you're fairly newer to drag. What got you started?
I saw other girls that were not half as talented or as pretty as me getting paid to do less than what I do on the daily basis.
Okay.
And I was like, I might as well get paid to look pretty.
So your first drag race was Alexia's drag race?
Yes.
How was that? Just going through the entire season and winning at that.
I won my first season and I crushed everyone's soul.
So how'd that make you feel, just coming into drag and winning your first drag competition, your first time in drag?
It made me extremely arrogant, but I got that under control.
Okay. Was it difficult for you being one of the few Black performers?
It wasn't difficult. It definitely gave me an edge because of my experience with, of course, I used to be a professional dancer, so that helps. I used to dance with Jesse Norman. I started at the Performing Arts School.
Oh, wow.
Also, my favorite art teacher, Miss Allen, she taught me modern African dance and traditional African dance.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Yes. So, as a Black performer, and having other performers come in after you, what do you think you hold in the community to say, hey, because you are an icon now here in Augusta, people absolutely love to see you. So what is your go-to to other young people, even young Black people trying to get into drag and performance art in general?
The first thing I would say is you already stand out. So polish whatever you're doing as best as you can. Whether it's, whether you're a dancing queen, face queen, whatever your talent is, just polish it and be the best as you can possibly be and just keep adding to your bag.
Nice. That is dope. You're so cool. So what do you think you have to offer the community here now that you have a title and you're part of a house as well with titles? So what is your house, by the way?
Well, I'm a part of the House of Reigns. The current Mr. Augusta Pride is my father.
And how does that make you feel? Like, you have such a legendary family already.
I'm a queen and a princess.
Yes. I love the way you said that. So how does that even make you hold yourself in public outside of, because you have such parents of notoriety in the drag community?
Well, I've always been very poised and elegant, no matter how I look or how I perform. I've always been and conducted myself as a lady. Performance and entertainment are separate from identity and personality.
Agreed. So do you have any negative, because you often perform without a lot of clothes. I'll say it that way. So what is your, because they're rough down here. Mm-hmm. They're really rough down here, especially at Edge where you're known to perform. Mm-hmm. How do you maintain that poise and classiness being half naked?
Well, like I said, I conduct myself in a very elegant manner, no matter how I look or how I perform. Also, I have a very dominant personality, and I would never be addressed in such a rude or disrespectful way because of the way I carry myself. So, even if I'm performing in just bra and panties and corset or whatever I seem to be wearing that goes along with my song or personality or whatever I'm doing to entertain the people, that is for entertainment purposes. It is not an invitation to be touched, harassed, or stalked.
How do you have an issue with stalkers, harassment during performances or after performances?
Well, not now. However, I have had 3 stalkers so far, and I'm only 24. And this was before I started performing anyway.
What did you think made them feel that they could like be obsessed with you?
Oh God, not to be arrogant or cocky, but every time I ask myself that question, I just look at pictures of me and videos, and I'm just like, okay.
Makes sense.
I see it, but I don't understand it.
Got you. And how would you typically deal with, because sexual harassment is a big thing in the drag community as well, even with other performers. Yes. So how would you even address that issue? Or have you ever experienced any kind of issue with another performer or with anyone in the crowd during a performance?
Okay. So performers are extremely intimate, and it's not something that you can help. However, you can conduct business in a certain way. Also, a lot of performers will assume that it's okay to touch, say, and do certain things, and it's not. Yeah. Especially if you have never met this performer or have established any boundaries with this performer. So those are things that all go into hand. No matter, even though there's still problems with some performers that have known people for years and years and have been performing for years and years that still deal with sexual harassment and things like that from people they've been around for years and years and years.
That's true. So how do you, as a drag performer, we're known typically as an underground thing, like it's a nighttime thing. But you come out often during the day in drag.
It's like 12:30 right now.
And how comfortable are you just walking around in drag like it's nothing?
I would literally go to a Catholic service like this.
I believe you.
Early morning mass.
That is amazing though. Like, how did you find that confidence to say, I'm going to step out however I want to, whenever I want to, without worrying about the southernness that's here?
I would literally go dressed as a sexy nun to a Catholic service. And what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of newer performers even that will not go outside during the day in drag, just for fear of harassment and just multiple things like that have happened here, especially in the South. Yes. So how would you deal with that? How would you allow them to also gain that confidence in themselves?
So, like I was saying earlier, the way I look and perform and the way that people react to me has, of course, I'm human, made me very arrogant. However, I'm still a very humble person, and naturally, because I'm a Cancer, my arrogance turns into confidence. And so it makes me extremely confident. It makes me very caring and understanding for other people. And with me being a Cancer, a water sign, I have very strong powers of persuasion over other people. So my confidence definitely rubs off on a lot of people when they meet me, the way I conduct myself, and I apparently give very good advice. Okay. So I always try to help new people. I'll give them tips, tricks, and things like that. But my thing is, you never have to change who you are. Only add. That's my entire thing. That's
an amazing piece of advice. Definitely, for sure. So to get a little personal here, how are you with your family? How does your family accept your lifestyle?
My family accepts my lifestyle. And I have 3 sisters, 2 brothers, and my mom and dad all accept me.
And how was that? How did you approach them with saying, hey, by the way, like, this is what I want to do?
I've always been very feminine. So it was never like a secret or like a shock. But my mom is like one of the biggest things to help me, actually. So when I first started getting really, really girly, she would take me to get my nails done. We went shopping. Like, I was a girl. And my dad, he shares pictures of me all the time. And he goes overboard with it. I'm like, stop, man. Calm down. And we'll go out in public together, eat. We go out on dinners and things like that. And it's really fun.
That's amazing, because a lot of drag queens specifically don't have that option where their family supports them. So that's really amazing that you have that huge support system. And I think for sure you can tell that even in yourself, that you have people backing you, which is beautiful. That is absolutely amazing. So what was their first reaction seeing this Chanel?
They were like, oh my God, she's blonde. Oh my God, that blonde looks so good on you. Oh, wow. So that's where all my ass went.
So have you always been this extravagant with your looks?
Oh, it used to be worse. Oh, God.
It got worse.
Oh, God. I've always been over the top. However, I'm always changing. So you never really know what to expect. I'm usually blonde, but the color does change a lot. Okay. I'll do blue, green, pink, orange, purple. I even throw black in every once in a while.
Okay. And you make wigs.
I do.
So you have the ability to make pretty much anything you want to see on yourself.
I call myself a shapeshifter.
Yes.
Call me Mystique from the X-Men. You have to keep them on their toes.
Few other things you're known for is corsets. Yes. Let's get into that. You wear corsets all of the time.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Well, I'm not human. So, who needs to breathe?
Okay, you're right. We can risk that sometimes.
Breathing is a luxury, not a necessity.
Got you. Okay, and that's the philosophy of wearing corsets all the time. So, how did you get into wearing corsets? Because that's not something you just pick up and say, okay, I'm gonna wear a corset today. Like, how did you train yourself to get to where you are now?
So, of course, as a little gay boy, I used to idolize all of the beautiful, strong women, like superheroes. I'm really obsessed with supervillains. They're my thing. Evil queens, it's my thing. I love it. And they always have a very, very strong silhouette. And even if they're wearing all black, that is the hardest thing to do because everything blends together. But I started one day because, well, I've naturally always had a pretty feminine body. My legs, my waist is naturally small. It's very curvy. Of course, everyone knows my ass.
Yes, which was gonna come up.
It is real, by the way.
That's something we have conversations about. Okay.
Literally.
We're like, wait, hold on. Is it real? Like, when I first saw you ever perform, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I was like, that is not real. Like, okay, so it's real. Good to know.
The first 2 weeks of me performing in drag, all of the judges wrote on their paper notes about my ass, and they're like, is it real? They didn't want to ask, but they were writing notes about it, and they were silently asking themselves until they couldn't bear to they had to know, so they asked, and I was like, well, of course it's real. I'm literally naked right now. I can't really fake that, and I don't have money for surgery, so not yet.
Not yet. It's coming.
I don't need it, but
you don't. You're absolutely beautiful. And you're such an amazing performer. You're such a strong performer. How did you get to even that point to where you're not just performing anymore? You're putting on productions. You're full on giving Broadway when you perform. How did you get to that level?
So a thing that I tell all people that ask me questions is at the end of the day, there's 2 kinds of arrogance. arrogance that is good and arrogance that's bad. So arrogance that's good is things that can be backed up by proof. Things that you know are true, like how well you perform, how well you put together your costumes, your makeup, your innovation, how creative you are. These are things that are natural and that are unique to you. Bad arrogance is just overconfidence, and which can be a good thing or a bad thing, but like being overly confident, being way too arrogant, or just expecting things to be handed to you without working for it. And a lot of times, of course, like queens will get out there and just think it's easy and like, hey, I can do this. All they're doing is wearing a wig. No. But good arrogance can be channeled into confidence. It can be used to boost your self-esteem, because a lot of people do drag for self-esteem issues. They want to project what they want to be seen as or addressed as, or even just getting out all of their energy that they pent up. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember what it was.
It's okay. Do you think pretty privilege exists in drag, and why don't you use it?
Oh God, it definitely exists. Ooh, I'm not gonna even go into details about how I know this, because it has happened to me plenty of times, and I'm not gonna say that I don't use it, but I don't use it in drag. But I only use it if I have to. I don't use it just to use it. However, you can't stop the effects from following you, or you can't, like, I call it unpreying, because how you look and just pretty privilege is not just how you look, it's how you present yourself. It's the energy that you give out, how you interact with people. That all goes hand in hand. You can't be pretty and have a bitchy attitude, or be rude, or have negative energy, because people can feel that. No matter how pretty you are, they won't want to be around you. They won't want to interact. And like me, I'm a very social person. I'm a Cancer. I always care about how everyone feels. And that is the reason that I was asked to be a part of the Rain family. Because not only am I pretty, I'm elegant. I present myself with class. And I care about everyone around me. So even in my season of Drag Race, I gave everybody ideas with what they wanted to do. Even though it is a competition, we are a very, I'm not gonna say a small community, but we're a small drag community. So even in the drag community, or the LGBT community, there are people that look down on drag performers. They look down on feminine people, feminine persons in general. So my thing is, we have to stick together, because they already look down on feminine people.
Yes. Yeah.
They already look down on feminine gay men, feminine trans men, masculine guys that are, openly gay masculine guys that have a touch of femininity, and feminine presenting non-binary people, feminine presenting asexual people. And just, there's so many things that go in the jar that have to be addressed.
So what do you think? So every year we have Pride, and Augusta throws this huge Pride event that lasts typically the weekend. So every year these places are sold out where there are drag shows. Over 10,000 people show up to Pride almost every year.
Oh, yeah.
But on an everyday basis, where we're performing, whether it's every Thursday, Friday, whatever day, our crowds seem to get incredibly smaller. So we go from hundreds to maybe 10, 20 people that we're performing in front of. Where do you think that comes from, or why do you think that is?
So the thing about that is, it seems like even in our own community, the LGBT community looks at drag performers as the help. You are there to put on a show. You are expected to do this. You are expected to do that. You are expected to conduct drag in a box. Hair, nails, makeup. Do Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, and go home.
Yeah, yeah.
here are my ones. These are the ones that I found in my car. It's all crumpled up. This is for you. That should pay for your hair. That should pay for your wig.
How much money do you think you've spent so far doing drag?
Oh God, drag's expensive. My hair alone is like $500.
Okay. And wait, so you work. You have a 9-to-5.
I am a working girl, yeah.
So how do you transform from work life and then at night you have to be Chanel all the way?
Oh God. Well, Chanel's a state of mind. Chanel's not the way I look. Even like, no matter if I'm not wearing hair or makeup or whatever, even if I look like a boy, Chanel's here. And no matter what I do, if anybody that knows me knows that my eyebrows never leave my face. My purse never leaves my body. Chanel's always here.
How long do you spend on your makeup?
My makeup actually only takes me like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what I'm doing.
No, that's insane. Most drag queens are literally on their face only. It's about 2 or 3 hours. And you look absolutely amazing. So, like, how do you do this in 30 minutes?
Well, I've been doing makeup for about 6 years. I work at the mall, actually, doing makeup for Trinity Beauty, as well as I still work for MAC in the mall.
So you are a professional makeup artist.
Yeah.
So that's how you can get it. Okay. That makes sense. Alrighty. So what is your next steps now that you've won Alexia's Drag Race? So you are now the crowned one. What is your next steps for the LGBT community? More specifically, the Black LGBT community.
Oh. So, the actual first next step is I'm going to be having Thursdays with Chanel at Edge Nightclub. Come and experience Chanel.
That's exciting.
We're giving the Chanel experience.
That's exciting. You're about to have your own show.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Oh. My hair finna get big.
That is dope. And what are you doing to bring in more? Because there is a large community of Black performers here. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do to bring them in more to where they feel more accepted?
Well, there was already a pretty big stigma where they just felt like they weren't accepted because Edge is a predominantly white club. However, there is a big flow of people of color. There's a lot of Hispanic and other minorities that go there, and even Black patrons. However, they just don't feel comfortable to perform for whatever reason. And me and other drag performers that are of color have pretty much stepped our foots in the door to make it wider and more accepted. Like me, Kayla Couture, Kalai Kush are just a few examples. And we're growing and expanding drag in a way that just hasn't been done before in Augusta.
That is amazing. You should be incredibly proud of yourself. That is such a huge thing to accomplish. So how has COVID affected drag for you?
Well, it's definitely slowed down a lot of the traffic that we usually have for drag. So like even Pride was completely shut down last year. And it hurt because that was like the one day or the one, I'm not going to say, the 1 month a year that we were seen by more than just our community. So businesses went out of their way to include the flag, and of course with us having the new LGBTQIA plus flag, now they're going with us. They're picking up, they're learning about new pronouns and being more inclusive. It's not just LGBTQ, it's LGBTQIA plus. Everyone's feeling more comfortable explaining their identity and teaching, because sometimes it's not always a person being rude, it's just a person not knowing how to address certain things or how to ask without offending anyone.
So what do you think the LGBTQ plus community can do to help others who truly don't understand the lifestyle? They don't understand pronouns. They don't understand the proper way to address someone who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community?
So the way I think of that is, honestly, you can't help someone else if you don't know who you are, how you feel inside. So the first step is always you. You have to be confident in who you are. You have to know who you are and how you want to be addressed. Whether you're trans, non-binary, asexual, intersex, all of these things are different. They have their own explanation, and you have to know who you are and what you are first. Then you can explain and you can teach properly.
So what are your pronouns?
Honestly, I'm between non-binary and trans. I'm just so fluid, but I'm definitely on the more feminine scale. I don't really care for pronouns, but everybody can't say that, so please just be mindful and aware. Me personally, I don't care what you call me, he, she, they, them. It just, to me, it makes sense to call me a she if I look like a woman. If I'm presenting feminine, call me Chanel, call me a she. If I'm presenting masculine, call me he, just because it makes sense, like 1 + 1 = 2. However, you always ask someone what their pronouns are before you say he, she, they, them.
Agreed. I think this is absolutely amazing. It was so amazing having you. This is so great. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do beyond Augusta, even within Augusta. Like, I think this is gonna be a absolutely amazing movement.
There's a lot
and
of
I'm
stuff
so
lined
glad.
up. Not only am I getting my own show, I'm also in a new competition for the Queen of Olympus.
Yes.
That's going to be my next step after Thursdays with Chanel.
Yes, that is. And you're advertising, right?
Yeah.
On Facebook. And
Yeah.
so what's your Facebook handle so people can find you?
Well, my Facebook is Chanel Cartier. Chanel, like Chanel #1.
And Instagram, are you on Instagram?
I am.
Okay, what's your Instagram? What's all your social media?
Well, my Instagram is @MichaelShawn. It's spelled MyChal_SHAWN. That's Michael Shawn. And my Facebook is Chanel Cartier. It's a really pretty picture of me. I'm blonde with a pink background. Thank you to Michael Murals. He was the photographer that captured all of this.
Awesome. This is beautiful.
Thank you.